This is kind of a follow-up I'm making to a video I shot a month ago about restarting my weight loss journey. And I don't know if I've published that video or not. I have edited it, but I'm still thinking of whether I should publish that video or not. It's a whole self-confidence thing. But it's been a month since I recorded that video, and I just wanted to update on my weight loss journey so far. And even if I don't publish this is just also for my own accountability, for me to keep track of what I've been doing this past month and what I'll be doing every month going forward. And let's see if I actually manage to hit my weight loss goals. So yeah, right after I recorded that video from last month, I started gym the next day. I tested out a gym that's quite close to work, and I just hoped that it would work out. I wanted to test out two gyms because the other one was cheaper. It's a little less equipped, but honestly, I didn't really have the motivation to go to that gym because it's like a whole single floor gym where everything's kind of cramped together. Not many people, but it was really cheap. It was 100 ringgit a month, which is alright. But I decided to, splash the cash a bit and go to a gym that's actually much easier for me to get to after work. And even though it costs a bit more and it's quite expensive for what they offer, which is like it's 150 a month, right? That's the monthly fee for membership. And the gym is well equipped. That's one thing I'd say. It is well equipped. It's not as well equipped as the gym that I used to go to, which was 120 a month. But there are just things that are slightly lacking that for 150 a month, you'd wish there was in a gym. Like they provide lockers, but you have to pay to use a locker, which is fine. But for 150, you'd hope that you get free use of lockers in a smaller gym like this. This is not part of a massive franchise of gyms. So also they don't really have water. I don't mean like, a water supply like for a toilet or something. I mean drinking water. They don't have water dispensers, and the gym that I used to go to does have water dispensers. So again, for 150 a month, while the equipment is fairly well equipped, there are just some things missing, but it is very clean compared to the one I went to. And yeah, it's just really easy. Like after work, I can just drive down. It's easy to keep up the motivation when you don't have to drive 30 minutes to 40 minutes, sometimes up to an hour, just to get to your gym. And let's say you're feeling tired and you just need a nap before the gym session. You don't arrive so late to the point where you're counting minutes, right? You can take that nap, go to the gym session, knock it out of the park, and then go home. And it's all just along the way from work to home. So that's fantastic. So about this first month, first things first, the first 2 weeks I was kind of locked in. And I was just kind of figuring out my diet because I think my diet is sustainable and does aid to weight loss and fat loss. But it definitely needed a bit of tweaking here and there. But for the first 2 weeks, I was eating really well on the work days. So I would try not to overconsume. I was tracking every meal. And also, those first 2 weeks, I was hitting the workouts. Oh, that first week was just crazy, right? When your first week back into the gym after 2 years of not setting foot there properly. Shit, that first week. I had to, after that first day, which I did, chest, shoulders, triceps, that was dead. But, we go again, we go day 2, we go day 3. And the habit of going to the gym, because it's nearby, has actually been easy for me to keep up. But the biggest problem that I kind of faced when, throughout this entire month actually, is when it came to food. So like I said, my usual diet, or what I normally eat during the week, is actually pretty okay. I've been using ChatGPT to kind of sort of figure out the calories and where I can make improvements. But the food that I consume on a work day, on my work days, are pretty decent. And for 2 weeks, I was pretty locked in with that. But a few things happened because I went for KBBQ on the second weekend. And, it's a all-you-can-eat buffet. There's a ton of pork. So, yeah, I indulged. And what didn't help is that after that, like the weekdays after that, I had a training, and during these trainings that I go for, they provide 3 meals a day. And I don't mean breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No, I mean tea, lunch, and tea again. That's in addition to the breakfast and dinner I was already having. So that kind of, you know, cut into the diet that I was doing. It kind of affected it because you're served many meals, and I still controlled myself, but I helped myself to a tea here, a coffee there, a cake here. It wasn't fully locked in. And the worst part is, while that was on a Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the Thursday and Friday of that week, knocked it out of the park again. The following week, I had another workshop, and this was 5 days long. And it's 5 days of the same thing. You get 3 meals while at work. And yeah, once again, I indulged in those meals. In addition to the fact that some weekends, especially 2 weekends, all right, I had one of the weekends I had a massive nasi lemak, like just big portion, and I immediately followed that up with popcorn. Like popcorn and a fizzy drink, because I went to a movie after that, and it was not, a Pepsi Black or Coke Zero, which honestly, I wish that cinema that I went to had it, but it was just convenient and nearby, so I had to take something else, which I took a Sprite, and not best option. So yeah, massive nasi lemak. I'm already stuffed, and then I go to the cinema and I buy popcorn and a drink. I guess I was just indulging a little bit, but that's one. Adding on to the KBBQ, adding on to all the training food. Then also I went for chicken tenders. Last weekend, last weekend I had chicken tenders with my friends, and the regular set is like 5 pieces of pretty decently sized chicken tenders. But they were having a promo, so we got 3 additional chicken tenders. And on top of that, we went for satay after that. And, I reined myself in. Like, my friend went for dessert, like a McDonald's sundae. And I was like, you know what? I've eaten way too much. Let's just control it. Let's avoid the sundae, right? We've indulged. We've had good food. I'm not miserable. So, yeah, I skipped the sundae. Yay! Small victories. Small victories. So for all of that, the overall summary for this month is gym has been consistent. I've been going consistently. I did not miss a gym day. I even went to my friend's gym in his apartment, which was not well equipped, but you find ways to work out. There's not only one way to hit your routine, basically. And all of that just keeps it interesting. The consistency when it comes to working out is there. It's just that food has been a bit lacking, a bit not completely locked in. And the thing is, I foresee for the future that there will be few weeks that this thing happens again. There's going to be a whole week in October where I will be in Japan, and I foresee drinking sessions and definitely eating a lot of good food. And that's 1 week, and then there's one more week that's going to be Deepavali, and there's going to be a lot more food. And it's just about trying to enjoy it without overshooting the amount of food that I should be eating. Also, when it comes to some of the other factors that I struggled with in my previous, attempts at weight loss, still struggling with it. Sleep is a myth to me some days. Work is just because I work in a job that requires a 24-hour running. Sometimes I'm reached out to at night, and that's really an issue because you don't disconnect. Like, you don't get to wind down and focus on sleeping. There's always some stress because you're worried that someone might do something wrong, might make a mistake, and you just can't rest easy. Even though on your part you've tried to take the measures to avoid that from happening. And yes, some of my fears came through because one day I got a 1 a.m. call, and I had to troubleshoot for about half an hour. That affects sleep. I'm trying to get at least 7 hours of sleep. It allows me enough time on gym days and non-gym days to kind of come back, eat dinner, wind down, watch anime, watch whatever series, YouTube, whatever, and then just wind down. My mind's at ease, and I should sleep. But suddenly you're getting calls at 1 a.m. You're getting calls in the gym sometimes, and you're just like, I just want to focus on my session. You can't. So yeah, sleep has been an issue, as well as water intake, because when I'm on site, I tend to forget to drink water. I have a bottle with me. I have this whole 1 liter Calpis bottle with me, and so I still struggle to finish that by the end of the day. 1 liter, just 1 liter, and I'm struggling to finish that by the end of my workday. Of course, I have drinks during lunch, and what I have during lunch is tea. It's normally just warm tea or warm water, so nothing too crazy there. But yeah, so water intake, I'm still struggling with that, and also 1 liter is not enough at the gym, I'm discovering. So there are a few things that I bought that kind of try and help me improve on my journey a little bit. So as I've said, I've been running the meals that I've been having through ChatGPT to see whether they're good meals, or how can I change them up a little bit to be more conducive to fat loss and to build muscle and they look good and all that. And it turns out the meals generally are okay. They're fine. They're not too heavy in calories, and I definitely can make some improvements, and I'm trying to make some of those improvements, just cutting a bit of oil here and there, adding a bit of protein here and there. But one thing I did find out from ChatGPT, because I know it wasn't calculating my macros to that level before, is that I am lacking protein. So one of the improvements I am going for is I have purchased a protein powder. It was supposed to be delivered today. It's not here. I don't know when it's going to arrive. Latest tomorrow, right? It's just waiting to be delivered, and I'm planning to see if any changes occur, like whether the fat loss is easier, whether my muscles are are built. It's easier to put on muscle instead of fat, and I'm losing fat. I don't know. I'm mumbling at this point, but we'll try the protein powder. I've never had protein powder in my life. I've always had a fear of it because I'm not losing enough weight, and I feel like I need to be a blank canvas, like a really thin person who is perfect to build the body. Only then I can use protein powder. But you know what? 30 years without using it, 15 years of attempting weight loss without using it. It's always time to try something new. There's always a time to try something new. So we'll try the protein powder. It's a local brand. It's cheap because I cannot go for Optimum Nutrition, which is like a premier brand, and like 200 ringgit a kilo. The fuck, are you kidding me? And another thing that I'm making improvements to is, like I said, that 1 liter bottle ain't enough. I'm planning to buy a 1.7 liter bottle just for the gym, and that that fixes two problems. One is the amount of water that I have on hand at the gym, so that I don't get thirsty there, and the fact that my gym does not have a water dispenser, even though I'm paying 150 a month. Yeah, so 1.7 liters is more than enough to cover a whole gym session, including those deadly leg and core days that I do. So that's pretty much the summary for the month and the improvements going forward. So after this whole month of me working out and trying to eat a little better, how much weight did I lose? Well, I just measured myself this morning, and that was my fasting weight. So I hadn't eaten anything. I just got up from bed, and I lost about 3 kilos, which I know it isn't much for some people, but for me, it's important that it did go down, that it was 3 kilos down, right? Because if you've been watching this whole video, I have not been eating, well. I've not been, kind of controlling my calories too much. I've been indulging, in fact, and yet I still lost those 3 kilos. Now, I know that's going to be down to water weight and that initial sort of early fat loss. But I'm hoping that once I lock in, or at least lock in a bit more, that by the end of the second month, I'm down below 110 kilos. That's the goal for October. So yeah, we'll see if I manage to hit that goal. We'll see if I ever publish these videos. I'm hoping to do that. It's just a little bit of self-confidence issues. Yeah, anyway, that's it from me. That's been my update on my weight loss journey after a month. We'll see you in October.